Good morning, guys. So here we are back at it. It is gardening season, or gardening season is quickly approaching. So it's definitely time to get everything going. Um, it's been kind of a hectic night at my house. I haven't had a whole lot of sleep, so why not combat that with planting seeds? So let's get started. So first off, you want to have your trays, your seed starting trays. And there are different ones that you can get. You can do a cup. Some people use red Solo cups. They take up a lot of room, especially when your seeds are itty bitty. So I like to use these. There are 18 of these, and then when you put them in the tray, there's 72. So you want pre-moistened soil. If there's any big chunks, usually you start with a seed starting, but you can also use a potting soil. You can sift it or just pull out the big chunks. Sometimes there's some big chunks. So anyway, you fill it, but then you go through and you tamp it down. You don't want to totally pack, so you're not putting a lot of pressure, but you are tamping it down just to make sure that you got them full, because one, an air pocket in there is bad, especially on roots, and two, if you don't have enough in there, it's not going to fill. And then when you water it, it'll sink down and your root will move, your seed will move, and it's just not good. So we're going to plant up our trays first. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a row of the Mammoth Red Rock, a row of the Red Acre, a row of the Copenhagen, a row of Black Beauty eggplant, a row of shishito peppers, a row of the mystery seeds, because I'm curious, a row of broccoli, 2 rows of American flag leeks, 2 rows of shallots, and then a row of the purple tomatillos. So getting a row, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Most times people plant 2 seeds per cell. Sometimes people only do 1. What is the difference, and why should you make one choice over the other? So if you're going to go through the work of actually putting the seeds to work and hoping that they germinate, if you put 2, you have twice the chance. If you just put 1 and it doesn't germinate, then you have empty cells. Last year now, I planted, 2 and 3 for some cells, and they just didn't germinate for some reason. So you always take that risk. So it's personal preference for the planter or the grower, but that's the way I'm going to go with this particular tray. So to be a little more prepared, I'm going to go ahead and write out the tags for what the rows are. That way, when my hands are dirty from playing in the dirt, the soil, then I don't have to get this all dirty in my marker. These are garden markers. So what's cool about a garden marker? Well, it's supposed to be rainproof or water resistant, fade resistant from the sun, so the sun shouldn't bleed it out, and so it should help you. Now most of these are going to just stay in the house, so it doesn't matter. I have bigger signs for the garden, but should we need it, they are there. On my marker tags, I want to write what they are. So this one's going to be tomatillo purple. I always write the brand. And this last year, I saw where people were putting start dates. So I thought I would try it this year and see how I liked it. So 3/6/22. And I think I'll just go ahead and plop that in my cell. Now, if you're wondering when you should actually plant some of these, all you have to do, we'll do this one. Just pull it up and look at the back. The back tells you everything you need to know, especially when you get them from My Gardener. He has his own YouTube channel and it's amazing. So, it tells you about it, when to harvest it, when to start it, how many days to germination, days to maturity, how many planting spaces once you plant them outside. It tells you that it's container friendly, that it's full sun, and that it is cold tolerant. So the American flag leek is really good if you want to plant early in the spring or late in the fall for fall planting. Okay, general rule of thumb is you plant it as deep as what the actual seed is. Or 2 times, I'm sorry. You plant the seed 2 times the depth of what size the seed is. We'll start with the tomatillos. Pretty small seeds. So if the package doesn't tell you exactly how deep, then you can just kind of guesstimate. The package actually does tell us. It tells us 1/4 inch. So you have to be careful doing what I just did. So you don't want random seeds planted together. Huh. Okay. Make a little divot for those. That way they have somewhere to go. That's what I should have done. I don't know if I actually got 2 in that one or not. Okay, so then we're just going to lightly cover, pat it down, make sure that it's solid. Take the rest of these seeds carefully, put them back in the package. Remember, we don't want random seeds planted together or then it starts looking funny. This one doesn't seal back, so I have a tendency to fold it over just so that I know that it kind of helps keep the seeds in there. Alright, so let's get to planting. So in the past I've tried this and I decided to do it again this year. We're going to put in a layer of vermiculite. The vermiculite is going to help with moisture retention as well as keeping some bad things out. So you want to do it way overhead, kind of like you're salting things on Food Network. And we're just going to do a light layer of vermiculite all over the top of this tray. Finally, we're going to take our water bottle and just lightly spray. Try and help just set these in place. And I am using just a water bottle, nothing fancy. Ah. Just do a light misting. You don't want to use a watering can because that will drown them and move the seeds, but a light misting with a deal is okay. So then we're going to put a seed dome or a dome over the top of our seeds, and we're going to move our seeds over under the grow lights. To let them do their thing. Now, I know that I wrote the dates on the tags, but this also helps to put it into my Excel sheet. It also helps to be able to go in and calculate forward and make myself notes on when I should start looking for things to be ready to harvest. If you have, like I bought shishito peppers from 2 different companies, but there's nothing that signifies this is a whatever shishito and this is a whatever. They're just shishito peppers. So I went ahead and I made a note, JS, Johnny Seeds, because that's the particular one that I planted this year. So you kind of have to just come up with your own type of system. Now the other thing that I have as my system is my storage. Everybody has a different storage system when it comes to putting their seeds away. I actually bought, I'm about to drop seeds. This is a photo box. You actually store printed photos, which kind of seem to be a thing of the past, sort of. But they have these nice little deals, and I went in with my label maker and I labeled them. See, this is zucchini and squash. If I need to change them, the label just peels right off and I remake it. My label maker is old. It's something my husband had when we got married, and we've been married, it'll be 12 years this year. So it's not new, but it works really well, and it just makes labels and prints them out as I want them. So then the other thing that I have to think about, more so with flowers than anything, is how am I going to break this down? So in my vegetables, I broke it down by type. So then it comes to how do you want to do the breakdown? So for my vegetables, they're a little bit different than the way my flowers came out. So my vegetables, I have carrots, I have a tomato, I have cucumber, watermelon together. This one is actually sweet peas, but I don't have a label for it yet. These are both corn. So I didn't label both because I don't think they'll always both be corn, but for now, this is all my herbs, my kale, my lettuce, cabbage, that type of thing. I put zucchini and squash together, onions and leeks, that type of thing, peppers, broccoli, pumpkins, and gourds. This is kind of your mismatch. Asparagus, eggplant, okra. SC is Swiss chard. BS is not what you think it is. It is actually Brussels sprouts. We have one for green beans, and then I actually wound up with an empty one that had something in it earlier this year, but I don't know what. I'll probably put the cantaloupe in with this, even though I didn't label it that way. So you just have to figure out what works best for you. When it comes to my flowers, they're a little bit different and they're a little bit harder to do. So I actually have them, I have 2 cases for them because I broke them down by alphabet. Because I wasn't sure exactly what to do. These are my empty seed packets of what's been planted this year. But let's look at C. It's kind of hard to open one-handed. But coleus. See, this is sunball, but it's also a Crispidia. So I went ahead and put it under C for the Crispidia, because you can have multiple types of things. You can have multiple types of status. You can have multiple types of sunflowers. So I tried to break it down by what type it is. So these are Candy Stripe Cosmos. Of course, Candy would be C also. Columbine, Coneflower, because you can have multiple types of coneflower. Another type of Cosmos. Another type of, that's a cornflower, not a coneflower. Ooh! I'm dropping them. So, I know that my letters here are not in alphabetical order. And the reason that they're not in alphabetical order is because I don't actually have seeds for every letter. So every letter that's in this box has flowers for it that are in it. So then I moved all the others to the other one until I'm ready for them. And I actually have some extra blank cases that I could probably put more vegetables in if I needed to, or carry over of flowers or that type of thing. But that's how I have decided to break my stuff down. And like I said, it depends on the person and what system works best for you. Honestly, this was my system prior to doing that. I just threw them all in a box and I'd sit there and I would try and flip through them. And there was no rhyme or reason in the way that they were thrown together. Vegetables and flowers were all mixed together, and it was kind of a pain. So last year for my birthday, I found these and got them. So that is how I decided to arrange my vegetables and my flower seeds so that they were hopefully easier to find. So now that I have placed all of these in containers to start, I'm going to go ahead and start breaking them out and putting them away. But this is a nice way to store them, keep them dry so that while they're summer long, I can put them in a cool, dry place. I don't have to worry about moisture getting into them, because not only do they have this outside protection, but they also have the inside protection. So anyway, it's time to get planting.